Good evening. Welcome to Battle of Champions. They often say that victory tastes sweeter the day after because you have time to reflect. You look back at the performance. Is that the feeling that you're having, Sai bhai? Is it tasting sweet? I know you're yet to have your supper, but before that.
No, yes, it is a very sweet feeling, no question about it. Because this kind of a performance, an all-round performance, batting-wise, fielding-wise, captaincy-wise, every sort of aspect and every facet of the game, where you've dominated an opposition like Pakistan, it certainly makes you feel a lot better, a lot more hopeful, a lot more optimistic about the fact that this Champions Trophy, which we won 12 years ago, can come back home.
All right, Sai bhai, we spoke yesterday about the fact that Virat loves playing against Pakistan, but what I really want you to tell us is the one area of concern for him was playing against spinner, especially the one that takes the ball away. Abrar, though he can spin both ways, could take the ball away from Virat. What is it that he did differently to what was happening when he was facing an Adil Rashid or Rashad that he faced in Bangladesh?
I think he was playing mainly off the back foot. So watching where the ball was turning and then playing accordingly. Also, I think you've got to say that Abrar, he bowled that brilliant delivery to get rid of Shubman Gill, but he wasn't a real big turner of the ball like we saw with, say, Rashad or Adil Rashid. So that was also a bit of a help. But by playing on the back foot, he was on a slow pitch. You can't really play on the back foot, in case the ball flipper comes in, you could be in trouble. So just giving himself just a little bit of time to make that late adjustment to whatever the pitch was, doing or whatever the ball was doing was a very, very big reason for him, playing comfortably. At the end of the day, you'll have a look at what Abrar bowled. I think he gave away only 28 runs in his 10 overs. So it just tells you that he also had a hold on the Indian batters.
Since we're talking about Abrar, he did have that gesture to do when he got Shubman's wicket. Then we saw, Shaheen Shah Afridi bowling wide deliveries towards the end, probably trying to ensure that Virat doesn't, get to his 100. So while there may not have been any edge in terms of performance, it was a one-sided contest. The verbals and the edge on the otherwise that you see in India-Pakistan was still there.
It will be always there because I think there's the history, and therefore with that history there will always be that little edge to any contest between India and Pakistan. Any sport, doesn't have to be cricket, hockey. You take it, it'll always be there, and no team, particularly when they know that they are not going to go on to win, they do not want a record to be set against them. A record of most hundreds, record of most 5 wickets, record, a record of maybe scoring the least number of runs themselves, or the other opposition scoring the maximum runs against. These are all, records that you don't want against your name. And therefore, I think that attempt was made, to try and bowl a little bit wide so that Kohli doesn't get 100. So it should not look as if Kohli getting a 90. It's okay. Kohli getting 100 is a big difference. Kohli getting 100 against Pakistan. So that's what they didn't want.
Just a word on the rest of the support cast. I know the headlines have been grabbed by Virat Kohli and it should be got that 100. But the knock played by Shreyas Iyer, the knock played by Shubman Gill.
Yeah, well, fantastic, because that is exactly what you wanted. At that stage, if Pakistan had got a few early wickets, say for example, if India had lost 3 wickets before they were 100, there would be a little bit of tension, a little bit of pressure. And because they did not lose, because of that partnership, that is the reason why it was an easy win in the end. And you've got to give 100% credit to everybody, all the bowlers, all the the batters, everybody was absolutely fantastic as far as the Indian win was concerned, and that is the reason it was an all-round team effort which got India over the rope.
All right, let's take a look at where the tournament stands at the moment. India, of course, have won both their games. Many are saying that they are probably the best team in the tournament. We've seen some good performances from New Zealand as well as Australia. But here's the scenario and what math tells us that it's still not a guarantee that India have qualified for the semi-final. You can look at the math. That's because you could have a scenario where New Zealand could have won 2 games, Bangladesh could have also won 2 games, and then it comes down to the net run rate. And similarly, even though Pakistan have lost their 2 matches, it's still not guaranteed that they are out. They're still waiting for a few other results to go their way. So there is an outside chance that Pakistan can do it as well. So those are the scenarios that you can see on your screens, which is telling you mathematically everyone is still alive. Now, Saima, even though I'm giving those probabilities to our viewers, I'm also, thinking about it in my head and saying that if that was to happen, then probably pigs could also fly.
You could say that because, look, for Bangladesh to beat New Zealand, the way New Zealand is playing in recent times, will take something special. Because New Zealand, having beaten India in India, did well. I know England beat them, but in the limited overs matches, they did well. They're combining well. Their fielding has been always outstanding. They've got the experience of Kane Williamson, the young Rachin Ravindra. He didn't play in the first game because of the injury. When he comes back, they've got a very good batting lineup. They've also got the kind of batting depth that India has, and which is always a big plus. They've also got the bowling options. If you have five bowlers are necessary. If you have six bowling options, that makes a big difference. Why did Pakistan suffer? They did not have a quality number 5 bowler. With the greatest of respect to Khushdil, he is not going to be a number 5 bowler in any team. So I think that is where India and New Zealand are very, very good. Australia also bat deep. They don't have the bowling, but because they bat deep, they can chase 350.
All right. India, of course, as we've said, are looking very good in this tournament, and those permutation combinations tell you that they haven't made the semi-final yet, but then it's only a formality before they are officially into the semi-final after a game or two. Anyway, let's now look at Pakistan. We've listed a few factors that has probably contributed to the decline of Pakistan cricket. If you could think of one or two reasons why there is daylight between India and Pakistan at the moment.
Well, I think in a game of cricket, you need to get off to a good start, batting or bowling. So Pakistan's opening batting, they don't have a good solid opening pair at the moment, which is the reason why they're not getting off to the kind of start in the first 10 overs or even first 15 overs that is so essential. As far as the bowling is concerned as well, they've got quality bowlers in Naseem Shah and Shaheen Shah Afridi. But when was the last time that both of them have bowled winning spells at the start? I'm talking about in the first 10 overs, they've taken 3-4 wickets and put the opposition completely on the back foot. That hasn't happened for a long time. So while people in Pakistan, and maybe those who love watching him bat, are pointing a finger at Babar Azam, I think a question should be asked about their bowling attack as well. Also the fact that they don't have top quality spinners. Let's not even go into the fact that Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah are, when you look at them, are nowhere close to Imran Khan, Wasim Akram and Waqar Yunus as a new ball attack. And Aqib Javed, their current coach, he was their fourth guy. So they had 4 top quality bowlers plus Abdul Qadir coming into ball, Iqbal Qasim, Tausif Ahmad. So they had a very well balanced attack.
Later Saqlain, Mushtaq Ahmed.
Mushtaq, correct, Mushtaq Ahmed. So all these guys were there, but that's not what we see with the Pakistan team now, and which is the reason why they're struggling with both bat and ball.
Okay, Simon, you were talking about the fact that Pakistan have been continuing to play these bowlers. I mean, the only logical reason you can look at is probably lack of, bench strength, lack of resources to really fill those spots. And I'm now looking at this Indian team and wondering that this is an Indian team which does not have Ruturaj Gaikwad, Ishan Kishan, Rinku Singh, Tilak, and Abhishek, Jaiswal, who can't, I forget 11, they can't even make the squad. I mean, is it fair to say that if India were to field B teams, C teams, they might give Pakistan a run for them?
I think a B team, certainly. I'm not too sure about the C team. A B team would be very, very hard for Pakistan, the current Pakistan team, to beat in the kind of form they are in.
So do you think that's the big difference? Like India has a lot of bench strength and Pakistan doesn't. They have to go back to a Naseem, they have to go back to a Shaheen Shah.
Yes, I think so. And I think, which is surprising, because, Pakistan has always had natural talent. I mean, natural in the sense, may not be always what you would say technically correct, but just the talent of the understanding of bat and ball, which they had. When you look at it in Inzamamul Haq, for example, you look at his stance and all that, you would never recommend that kind of a stance or that kind of a thing to another young batter. But what he had great temperament. So with that temperament, he would he would make up for any technical shortcoming that he had. So I think that is surprising that Pakistan has not been able to produce that, despite the fact that they've also got the Pakistan Super League, PSL. And India, how has India got so many young stars coming through? It's because of the Indian Premier League, and from that Indian Premier League, there have been a lot of people who have gone on to the Ranji Trophy and then on to play for India. So that is something that maybe Pakistan cricket will have to look at as to why they are not getting the kind of bench strength that used to be pretty regular in the earlier days.
One is the bench strength. Do you think the other factor that really highlights the stark contrast between two teams is the batting approach? Could you make sense of what really transpired when Pakistan were batting, when Rizwan was batting, Shod was there with him? Did you get a feeling that they were trying to get to a safe total rather than a winning total, and that's the difference between the two teams?
Could well have been. Hard to know what the tactics discussed in the Pakistan change room would have been. But the first ball that Rizwan, the captain, came and he hit it for a boundary, straight away you thought, now there'll be a little change in approach, because till then it was just about knocking the ball, taking a single, And so we were having 2 runs and over, 3 runs and over, and before they knew it, with the spinners, Indian spinners bowling, the overs were going, because Indian spinners were bowling and finishing overs in 1.5, 2 minutes. So therefore, it was just a little bit of a surprise that nothing really was tried. That said, I think we've also got to give credit to the Indian bowlers for the way they bowled, because they might have had the intent in their minds, the Pakistani batters, but they were not allowed to follow up on that intent by some excellent bowling, excellent field placing. Captaincy was absolutely top class. So I think that's where Pakistan certainly found that they were really pinned to the wall, pinned to the side screen.
And finally, before I let you go, in cricketing terms, India far better than Pakistan, but there's one area where I think Pakistan's been better, and that's their ability to take a joke on them, because I've been going through social media, and the kind of self-deprecating jokes that you find by Pakistani fans on their team. But somewhere, you kind of, as a lover of cricket, also realize that a healthy Pakistan team is good for that rivalry, India-Pakistan.
Look, I think, like I said, naturally talented. They used to be at one stage. If you look for natural talent, natural ability, you would say West Indies. And after that, say in the mid 70s onwards, when I started to play cricket, you saw that natural talent, being there in Pakistan. And so just like we want the West Indies to always be very competitive, you also want Pakistan to be very competitive, because world cricket needs that. World cricket needs teams that play with flair. Pakistan has a flair. West Indies have a flair. People want to come and enjoy watching them play, because they give you something out of the ordinary. Sometimes, real, quick delivery. Sometimes, an incredible cover drive. Sometimes, just the flick. Like Babar played that, I think his first boundary yesterday was that drive through mid-wicket. What a lovely drive. As a cricket, enthusiast, it doesn't matter. You just felt so good because it was so perfectly done. It's the most difficult shot to play, that mid-wicket drive. Yeah. You can play this, you can play the extra cover drive, but this drive, where you close the face of the bat at the last moment and get it between mid-on and mid-wicket, brilliant. So that's what I mean. You want to see these glimpses. You don't want to see these glimpses against India, maybe, but certainly you want to see these glimpses, against other teams, because that is what world cricket needs.
Okay, we're going to dig deep and really find out why those glimpses are missing. Why does that flair that Mr. Gavaskar spoke about missing? Because we're going to be heading to Pakistan. Our next show, Battle of Champions, will come to you live from Pakistan. Mr. Gavaskar will join us, but he'll have to join us, obviously, via link, because he's not traveling there. But look forward to your company, Saibhai, throughout this tournament, and that's all that we have on this particular broadcast.